Now let's talk about how you can get help in the command line interface. One of the greatest ways to get help is the question mark. I've just jumped into user exec mode and I'm going to use the question mark to see what commands I have available to me. If I go into the enable mode, now I'm in the privilege exec mode, and once again I'm going to use the question marks and I see a different list of commands. For this reason we call this context sensitive. The question mark is sensitive depending on where you're at and what information you're looking for. I'm going to type in disable to go back into my user exec mode. In my user exec mode, I'm going to type in T question mark. Now this shows me the options that I have, the commands that I have that start with T. Also, another way I can use the question mark is if I know that the show command has several different subcommands to it. So if I type in show with a question mark after it, it's going to show me the subcommands associated with show. If you make mistakes, then the command line will tell you what it's confused about. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to type in just an S and hit enter, and it's saying this is an ambiguous command. S does not give me enough information to know what command you're talking about. So I'm going to hit the question mark, and we see that it can't decipher with a S because it could mean show or SSH. If I were to type in show without the W, it would automatically know that I am trying to say show, and it could finish that for me and say show. But now what I've done is I've hit enter, and because there's so many subcommands for show that it's an incomplete command at this point. It needs more information in order to execute this. And so this is another little helpful hint that it will give us, that we're missing some sort of argument. Here again, to find out what arguments we are missing, we can do show with a question mark, and it'll give us some options. Maybe you want to show TCP with another question mark, and here we can either say show TCP brief, or at this point in time we can say enter, and it's enough information for it to process the command. So we're going to hit enter and process the command. Now we know that our two options was show TCP brief and just hit enter, but let's say we type in something extra accidentally, or maybe we called it TUP and we hit enter. At this point in time it says that an invalid input was detected. The invalid input was detected because we did something wrong in here. The little caret that is right here tells us where it went wrong, where it couldn't understand what we were talking about. It's the U, and we can see how that's our mistake, and we can correct that mistake by going in there and changing to that show TCP, hit enter, and then it will execute that command. So the question mark will help us out in quite a few different ways. Plus it will tell us if we make any kind of mistakes. It'll let us know how we've made our mistake, whether it was ambiguous, incomplete, or an incorrect command. That's some of the command line interface and how it can help you out.